All right, everybody. Namaste. Namaste, everybody. We have some beautiful light workers here at the Cosmic Center Spiritual Light, located in Sarasota, Florida. And we also have our very powerful, beautiful light workers that are on Zoom. And we also reach out to our beautiful light workers who are on Facebook and Facebook Live through the Cosmic Center Facebook page. For many people, they know this is around the time that this comes and they participate live. But for most people, this is not going to reach their feed until after we actually do the meditation or the chat, I should say. The meditation itself is only on Zoom, and we usually do that after our little chat that we're going to have here right now. And that has been the tradition ever since the inception of the Cosmic Center, which is 15 years ago. Every Monday, without fail, we have had an anchoring light transmission meditation with the ascended realms of light. And it's sometimes I got to pinch myself and say, is it 15 years already? And I'll say, I thought it was going to be done in 5 years. Ha ha. That didn't happen. And there's no sign of it slowing down or stopping. So, what they do, they just keep on patching me up to keep on going. So here I am. But at any rate, what if somebody is interested in participating in the anchoring light transmission meditation? You serve the planet, but also too, we benefit by this beautiful transcendent energy moving in through and around us, which accelerates your path. It absolutely does. So if this resonates with you and you would like to participate, absolutely, please do look on our Facebook page, Cosmic Center Spiritual Light, and look for Anchoring Light Transmission Meditation with Baba Sharon. That is my spiritual name. So I want to talk a little bit about a wonderful, wonderful event that we had on Saturday here, the physical location at the Cosmic Center Spiritual Light. And it was a lady who has had an experience, and I know what that's all about, with the crystal skulls. And so there's some people who are familiar with the crystal skulls, and there's some people who are not familiar with the crystal skulls. So I thought this little chat, I talk a little bit about the crystal skulls, because let me tell you what happened. Today, we're going to have our summer solstice event. We have that all the turning of the cosmic clock, solstices and equinoxes for the past 10 years, beyond 10 years, actually. We have always celebrated the equinoxes and the solstices because they are major, major celestial events, and certain things happen at that time that's not necessarily accessible at other times. There's a reason why ancient civilizations from all around the world celebrated and recognized the solstices and the equinoxes. So there's a reason, a purpose for that, which I'm not going to go into right now, but just know that it's very, very powerful. And if you can participate, even for yourself personally, as well as for family, for the entire world, etc., it's good to do that. So that's going to be on Tuesday, on the 21st of June, and that's going to be held at the Cosmic Center Spiritual Light at 7 p.m. But as I was getting ready to write and design the newsletter and to get that out, in my mind, as clear as day, crystal skulls came into my mind. Very vivid, very vivid. And we actually did have on Saturday a crystal skull a meditation. And very powerful with the grid. These skulls do vibrate with a crystal skull known as Max. And we've been very fortunate in the area where we're located that Max has traveled to this section. Max is one of 13 authentic crystal skulls that have been hidden in the earth until the divinely appointed time when they come. There's a number of skulls that one just recently they found, I think in Germany. It was somebody who had it, during whatever time back in the war, whatever, that skull. But there's supposedly there's the 13th skull that has been discovered, I understand, in Mexico. It's not out there yet, but anyway, so the bottom line is that what are these crystal skulls? Well, very, very ancient civilizations with these crystal skulls were designed in such a way that they still cannot replicate how the skull was made because it's beyond what science can do. It has to do, and I'm not an expert on this, but it has to do with the grain and how it's all one thing. And so there was something very special as to how these were created. Also to the skulls. What's the skulls? Well, the skull is a quartz crystal and minerals in general, the mineral kingdom, they are the recorders. Information is stored in bone and stone. Okay, so these crystals, what do they use for computers? They use a quartz crystal. Okay, so crystals, the mineral kingdom, have very, very specific properties that are like the scribes. They are the record keepers of the planet. Okay, so when somebody can tap into these crystal skulls individually, or it doesn't necessarily have to be the original crystal skulls. It could be ones that have been around a crystal skull that resonate, and even your everyday crystals. Okay, they still hold energetics and geometries, okay, that are like record keepers. They know the history, and they also have a connection to higher planetary beings. Okay, higher planetary beings. And so when a connection is made, all kinds of things can happen. Healing can take place. Consciousness expansion can take place. So here at the center, back in 2010, I believe, 2010, I saw Max the Crystal Skull for the very first time here in this area. And when I went, it was at a shop of a location that doesn't exist anymore. I believe it was the Ohm shop. I don't remember. It was in Bradenton. It was the first time I was there, and I, saw a lot of people coming. And like, what's the big deal about the crystal skull? But then you look at the pictures and you see these arcs of light coming out. And actually, myself and Reverend Robin, we were there together. A whole arc of light came over. Like you could see it in the picture. You could see it in the picture. You didn't see it there, but in the picture, you see the light. And then a lot of times, I remember so clearly, Joanne Parks is the caretaker of Max, this particular crystal skull. And there were pictures where you could see in the light, okay, as it was of like shamans of some culture in the past. It was like right there in the fire, in this light, you could see actual pictures in there. So yes, there is something to these crystal skulls. And why did the ancients and how did they carve it in such a way that we can't carve it today? And why were they buried? And now they're resurfacing, because there's a timing in all of this. And there is I know you have the Indiana Jones, Hollywood had put that out with the 13 skulls. And it was good because it brought an awareness to people about these skulls that are true. They do exist. So anyway, this past Saturday, we did have with Marguerite Bizzotti. She is the keeper of these particular skulls. They resonate with Max. It's not the original, but it doesn't matter. They hold the same frequency. I also have a labradorite. I have several skulls actually, that different ones that also resonate with Max. And I was saying before, my first time with Max, the crystal skull, I wrote a thing. It was like a channel that says, "We remember." We remember. So this is one of the prayers that we say here at the anchoring light. It's been used for our solstices and so forth. And that was in 2010 when I saw Max, and it flowed right out. And it's a powerful prayer. So that happened with my encounter with Max. Also, too, I have a good friend, Soryan. Some of you may know him, Michael White. When we first met together, he's very, very highly intuitive, remembers his travels during sleep, brings them back. There's a few people like that. But when I was speaking with him, he says, "Hey, Max the Crystal Skull?" Because he's here. I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "I have a connection with him." He said, "I do too." So that's our bond. And so like today, as I said, I'm getting ready. I wasn't even thinking about the crystal skulls. And as I'm starting to create for the flyer for our summer solstice on the 21st, just as vivid could be, the skull showed up. So I did contact Marguerite. I said, Marguerite, the skull showed up. You know, can you participate in the summer solstice on the 21st of June? And she was like, absolutely, absolutely. It's an honor, it's a privilege. So I'm very, very excited to share that we're going to have a powerful, powerful summer solstice event with the skulls. It's a whole grid that's done. It's going to be very powerful. So that's what I'm very excited about to share, everybody. And we're going to do this in person and online. So for all you guys, you know, with Zoom who cannot be here, that live in other places, don't worry. You will not be missing out because it's going to be broadcast. And some of you know that we have been doing our solstices and equinoxes for decades, It's so important. There's a reason why we do it, as I mentioned earlier. So with these crystal skulls, what are they doing? Well, if you go back to the Tree of Eden, if you go back to the Silk Garden of Eden, if you go back to the beginning of the Adamic race, and the Adamic race, as well as others, have the structure, the crystalline structure is our bones. That's our bones. Okay, we are crystalline structures of bones. And so the skull, which makes up our head, the mind, the chakra system, and our connection to the higher realms. Why would you not have a skull? So that is the meaning of the skull. It's not talking about death or anything negative or anything. It is actually an illumination as to, and a validation as to who we are as a human species, coming from the divine human, which is in Kabbalah known as the Adam Kadmon. So you could look at these crystal skulls and say, you know, this is the original blueprint of our Adamic race. This is the original blueprint of our humanity. This is the original blueprint of the Adam Kadmon. And they're there to remind us as to who we are. And what they emanate is unconditional love. Unconditional. I had experience with my own little crystal skull, and which I don't happen to have here now, but if I did in the beginning, the love vibration was so powerful, so very, very powerful. So we are going to very excited that we will be able to offer to a larger audience the energy of the crystal skulls that we just experienced on Saturday. So do mark your calendars for the 21st of June. That's a Tuesday. We start at 7 o'clock, and you would be able to participate wherever you are. We will do it on Facebook Live as well, so that it will reach a very, very large audience. So with that, I'm going to say namaste to our family of light on Facebook Live. Namaste.